The purpose of today's video is to go through progressive overload, which is one of the most important terms when it comes to just building your goal physique. We're going to go over what progressive overload is and how you can achieve it as your training age increases with ways that aren't just necessarily adding more weight to the bar. Before I go any deeper into this, I'm going to walk you guys through just what progressive overload is in a nutshell, and I'm going to use Shrek as my example. So let's take small Shrek, and he's going to go into the gym and lift weights. As Shrek is lifting weights, the muscles are receiving a stimulus from them working hard as he's training. Then once small Shrek is done training, the recovery happens outside of the gym, and the recovery process is him adapting to the stimulus. So his muscles, over time, as he adapts to this workout stimulus, small Shrek will recover and adapt with bigger and stronger muscles, so he'll just be a little bit bigger small Shrek. And then this cycle will continue to repeat. So as bigger small Shrek goes into the gym and lift weights again, he has adapted to previous stimuli, so his muscles are bigger and stronger. So the work he does in the gym creates a bigger stimulus than he could when he wasn't as big. Now, bigger small Shrek, over time, he is recovering from this increased workout stimulus, and he adapts with even bigger and stronger muscles. Bigger Shrek then goes into the gym, uses his adaptations of bigger and stronger muscles, and he goes back and he lifts even heavier weights. And then this creates a greater workout stimulus, and then he needs to adapt from this, and the adaptation is bigger and stronger muscles. And this cycle of increasing your workout stimulus and adapting to the stimulus with increases in muscle size and strength repeats for the entire duration of your lifting career. The idea of progressive overload and increasing your workout stimulus over time is the most important thing when you're trying to put on muscle tissue. If you don't increase your workout stimulus, you just simply aren't creating a demand for those muscles to continue to adapt to. And instead of having a stimulus for them to adapt to, they'll just simply maintain their current level of adaptation, as that's all that's needed for them to maintain the same level of performance that you're doing in the gym. Progressive overload is relatively easy for beginners to achieve just because there's simply so much room for them to increase their adaptations right away early on in their training career. So using the typical progressive overload, overall approach of just adding more weight to the bar, if you're able to do that, or using the same weight and doing more reps, if you can do one of these two, absolutely take them, as they're just the lowest hanging fruit, and they're going to be a huge driver for the results you see in the gym. But what this video is going to dive into is what happens when you can't increase the stimulus via those increases in weight or reps. There could be an argument for a possible deload, but more than likely the vast majority of you are just a deload, or even 2 rest days a week is not even in the picture for you to even think about doing. So I'm not even going to put that in this video. So like I said, if you're able to increase the weight or do more reps, do those first. But now I'm going to get into ways we can increase your training stimulus without these two things. Because as your training age increases and you train for longer and longer, your ability to just simply consistently add more weight to the bar or do more reps with the same weight each workout, each day in and day out, your ability to do this will just slow down the longer that you train. So that's where increasing your workout stimulus without using these types of methods, it comes into play and is super important. So one of the easiest ways to increase the workout stimulus your muscles are receiving is just to simply improve your form. Going from doing relatively okay form to nailing your technique and keeping that tension on your target muscle as the reps are being performed, that is the easiest and most impactful way to increase the stimulus your muscles receive within a workout. Having poor form or not being in as much of control of the weight as you could be, this will shift the work from whatever muscle you're trying to train onto either other muscles or other structures that aren't specific to your goal of that specific muscle you're trying to train. A few examples of this would be say you're doing a seated cable row and you're using 100 pounds. If you're doing that row and you have a bunch of torso movement in between, that's not necessarily bad for you. But if our goal is to train our back muscles, if you can use that same 100 and keep your torso in a relatively stationary position, the stimulus your lats are going to receive from that limited torso movement will dramatically increase, even though you could be doing the same weight for the same amount of reps. And then a second example could be chest pressing with your elbows flared out to the side. You might still be moving the weight and having good performance, but if you were to just the smallest cue of bring your elbows in slightly and press more around your torso, the stimulus your pecs are going to receive will be dramatically more, and you might even be able to get a greater stimulus with less weight if you're actually using the chest to move the weight. Another way to increase your workout stimulus is to slow down your eccentrics, or when you're lowering the weight and bringing it down to that bottom position. Performing slower eccentrics while keeping tension on whatever your target muscle is will dramatically increase that workout stimulus, because even if you use the same load for the same amount of reps, but you're doing the reps twice as slow, the demand on those muscles is dramatically higher. Another way to increase your workout stimulus is to add a pause or increase the pause in the hardest part of your rep, and this will depend on the biomechanics of the exercise and where the resistance is greatest. Some examples of this where you're going to spend more time in the most challenging portion of the rep would be either like holding a squeeze when you're doing a leg extension or a dumbbell lateral raise. And then on the other end, where you're holding tension at the bottom, could be like a bottom of a squat or a dumbbell bench press. Pausing at the bottom is a great way to increase the stimulus of each and every rep that you do, but it doesn't, just because you're sitting at the bottom, you want to make sure that you're holding tension on that target muscle, and it shouldn't feel like a break or easy. If you are pausing correctly at the bottom, that's where the rep is going to suck the most, and the longer you can hold, the greater the stimulus your muscle will receive. So again, an example, if you're going to do, say, like a dumbbell bench press, and you're going down 1 week, you're using a certain amount of weight for 4 sets for 10 reps, and you're pausing in that bottom position for 1 second. The next week, you could try and do all the same weight and reps, but pause for 2 seconds in that bottom position, and that will significantly increase the stimulus those pec muscles receive. Another way to increase the workout stimulus is to decrease the rest periods between your sets, and this is more specific towards your goal. Like if you're going to do strength training, pushing your rest periods is not a good idea because you want to make sure that your nervous system is recovered. But if you're doing workouts where your rep ranges are between like you're at 10, 12, 15 plus, decreasing your rest periods between sets is a great way to increase the workout stimulus on that muscle as well as your body as a whole towards a more like conditioning aspect. And the changes you make in your rest periods don't have to be drastic between each workout. So let's say like week 1, you do your workout and you're resting like 2.5 minutes in between each set. The next week you come in, do all the same weight for all the same reps, but decrease your rest periods by 10 seconds. And then the next week, decrease your rest periods by another 10, and do that just as long as you can. And you could spend weeks pushing into this adaptation, and you could have used the same reps and weight the entire time. And then another way we can increase your workout stimulus is again with your rest, but in between reps within a single set. So let's say you're doing an exercise, and you can do like 7 reps, then you rest for a little bit. You do 3 more reps, then you rest for a little bit, then you do 1 rep, and then that's set. Instead of doing that, you can aim to do all of your reps in a row, and that is another way to increase the workout stimulus. Increasing your range of motion is one of the best ways to increase the workout stimulus your muscles receive. So whether that's going deeper into like the bottom of a squat or bringing the weight up higher into the squeeze, increasing the range of motion you're performing for an exercise is an amazing way to do this, even though you're doing the same weight and reps. And then the final way that you can increase the workout stimulus is just to simply do more of the work that you're doing. So if you come in 1 week and you do 4 sets of everything, the next week you can do 5 sets, the next week you can do 6, and you'll kind of reach the point of diminishing returns. But increasing the just overall volume you're doing is another great way to shoot for this progressive overload without increasing the weight or the reps that you're doing. If you're able to use this information to help you keep progressing in the gym, even if you're stalling on your weight or the reps you're performing, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and if you know someone else that is struggling with this, share this video with them. All of the methods I just listed, plus more, are included within my Potent Priorities ebook, and that is just a small snippet of what's included within this book. The book gives you 4 foundations to put the majority of your efforts into if you want to achieve your dream physique, but also feel good while you're doing it. It goes into, so 1 is training, obviously, and then the other 3 foundations are your nutrition, your sleep, and then moving outside of the gym as well. There's no way I could go into depth about everything within that book within 1 video, so I'm kind of just like slowly releasing previews of it and then linking it towards the end of these videos. So you kind of just have to go check it out for yourself. Also on my website, there are free workout programs for any of you to follow. Each program has a corresponding video where I walk through the goals of the program, why I chose the exercises within the program, how you can get the most bang for your buck for each exercise that you're doing, and then any nutritional recommendations to help you get through the workout. Also on my website, there'll be a link for you to sign up for my weekly newsletter. And within that newsletter, I go through a topic that you guys request that just will help you get fucking yacked. And then it also gives up-to-dates on whatever program is the current program, and it goes through an exercise within that current program. Thanks for watching, and we'll see each other in the next video.